Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies.
You can't start like that.
We're playing. Isn't that how we start every episode?
A for reload.
So we're
it's
playing.
An old game. Adam, the
we're
other
playing
guy.
Black.
Jesus Christ.
This was you should really turn that on silent. This was like one of my favorite games as a young child. Like not that young. I wasn't that young when this game came out.
How long does it take to do stuff, Adam?
What year did this come out?
Jesus Christ, I don't know, 2003.
So 2003. So I was
Something
11.
Like
so I wasn't actually that young.
I was looking forward to this game. I played a demo on OXM or whatever it was. I got it on PS2. I guess I played it at Andrew's house or something. But then when I played it, like, oh man, this game is awesome.
Oh, the PS2 version of this game was the best looking thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, just at the end of the PS2 lifetime.
This is on Xbox.
So they gave me a shotgun specifically to shoot through that door, and they're like, but here's a better weapon for...
yeah.
I feel like this wasn't 2003, because I just said this is the end of the PS2 lifetime. That was the end of the PS2 lifetime.
How to play a shooter.
Probably.
I feel like this was like 2005 or something.
Oh my god, why is
it was...
Jesus, there's a firefight going on out there.
Sweet.
Where am I? What country am I bringing
2006.
2006. Okay, I knew it was at the end of the PlayStation 2 lifetime.
Jesus Christ.
This game came out in 2006.
Who's
making PlayStation?
Why was there no 360 version of this?
I have no idea. I don't know why this game got a like super shitty like sequel, like spiritual sequel.
Did it?
Yeah. Fucking like what's it called? Bullet whatever something.
Bulletstorm?
Bulletstorm. That's
not a
it.
spiritual sequel.
It is. It's
no, it's not.
I'm pretty sure that was the one that was made. They made after this to be like
that was
the
like
spiritual
Gears
successor
of
to Black.
Gears of War.
The Gears of Non-Gears.
Well, that Epic made that, didn't they?
Maybe I fucked it up. I should have done my research. I
know how to play shooters.
Medal of Honor is like the spiritual sequel to this.
I can't get over how annoying that is.
What?
The A for reload?
Well, yes, but also when you reload, everything goes out of focus. I know what you're trying to do.
It looked cool at the time, but yeah, I agree with you. That's super whack.
And there's no zoom in. All right.
No zoom in. This is a proper game.
This is a simulator for sim fans. Take that, Arma and Flashpoint.
Oh my god! Yeah, whatever. I know how to play shooter.
All my favorite shooters have no ADS.
Why do we call it ADS?
What do you mean? Why do we call it?
Like, why don't you just call it like iron sights? And I don't know. It seems like.
So the thing is, because there are iron sights, you just can't aim with them.
Yeah, but you don't use the iron sights.
Yeah, but that's why we call it aim down sights, because we're saying you can't do the verb.
It's just sometimes it's weird out of place. It's like, man, I was shooting my gun the other day without ADS. It's like that.
Body count, not Bulletstorm.
Body count.
Body count.
Which one's body
That was a
count?
Codemasters game.
Yeah, but it said, yeah, a spiritual successor to the game which developed by Codemasters was released on blah 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 blah. I don't know
how does
either.
That make it,
I don't understand how a Criterion game had a spirit. Fuck it. Well, I guess BioShock was a spiritual successor to System Shock, so anything's possible, man.
Yeah, but Kevin Sorbo, the guy who made BioShock.
Kevin Sorbo. Hercules, Space Hercules.
Ken Levine worked on both, did he not? Like, he worked on System Shock, and then...
Oh, okay.
I see what you're saying.
Studio.
There's an actual connection.
That's cool.
Literally zero connection
that.
here.
I thought Body Count was just a generic shooter that Codemasters made, and then realized they're no good at making shooters, so they're going to stop doing that now.
I would have... By the way, for the record, I would have loved the shit out of Kevin Sorbo's BioShock. I would have... Oh, my God. Look at Space Hercules makes a game, I'm in.
I totally want Kevin Sorbo's name, like Tom Clancy or something.
Oh
like
my god, that'd be hilarious.
Kevin Sorbo's The Division.
I still watch Andromeda. I'm doing an Andromeda rewatch right now.
That'd be so much better.
Yeah, Kevin Sorbo.
I think that's terrorist.
Kevin Sorbo's the fucking man.
What country I'm... Oh, Jesus.
I don't think the bullet went through his head. You just broke his neck with the bullet.
Stop!
I'm aware Kevin Sorbo's a polarizing figure in his real life. Is acting. I love his shows, man. Disappointed.
Oh no.
So you never played this, Adam, no?
No, this is Adam's first time playing this one.
And you weren't allowed to, because you weren't allowed to play Doom or whatever we learned last week.
I didn't learn that last week. What are you on about?
I was significantly older in 2000. By this point in my life, this came out in 2006.
Yeah, Doom came out like when Adam was like 4.
Yeah, this came out when I was like 14. When this game came out, I was playing, you know, Halo.
You have to bear in mind the Xbox 360 was out.
No, this is better than Halo.
You shut your fucking whore mouth.
This is definitely not better than Halo 1 or 2.
Control-wise, is utter dog shit in hindsight here.
Stop sending guys out here!
I mean, the selling point of this game was the destruction and all that stuff, but looking at it now, there really wasn't a whole lot that was destructible. I just kind of stuck JPEGs on shit that you shot.
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
God.
a few levels later on where you can, like, break columns and shit, but...
Well, there was a brilliant video that I sent the guys on, like, Fear in retrospect.
Yeah.
I wish I could shout out the YouTuber who made it, because he did such a good job. But one of the things
look it up.
Is he highlights how good the the technical stuff in Fear was at the time, which I think is a really overlooked part of that game.
I think that's worth noting as well. Like at this
Too
time
bad the
period,
game itself was dog shit.
The game Fear was amazing.
Destructive
I
environments
at no
weren't
point
really
did I experience any fear in that game.
Well, you were playing in a room full of
agree.
dudes.
Well, no, I'm talking about when I played it back in the day.
But like, the Fear wasn't necessarily. It wasn't like a horror game trying to scare you. It wasn't like Amnesia or something like that. Like that was never the goal of Fear.
There was like 1 or 2 jump scares.
Jesus
maybe.
Christ.
Fear was
a terrible
shooter.
decision to make.
Fear was a shooter with a horror atmosphere. It wasn't a horror game.
Can I clear a place? Because the guys keep popping in behind me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong
That's the
here.
EA way.
The game was super badass though. Actually, I don't want to remaster Fear because we don't need one because you could still play the old Fear.
Yeah.
Like,
You can say it about a lot of games where we didn't need a remaster of Bioshock, and yet...
boy, did we not.
But even in Fear, like a game that got a next-gen at the time release, didn't have destructible environments, I think, on par with even this game. Like,
no, I don't think its destructible environments were as good as this one.
Apart from, like, Red Faction,
Yeah.
I don't think there were any... That game doesn't look as good as this. Didn't have destructible environments. Games just didn't do that.
It's also worth noting the atmosphere in this game is actually decent outside this level as well. Although it's obviously not. The Fear has an actual story, and there's actual. You can actually like sense the atmosphere permeating it.
I don't know that it's a good story.
I know how to play shooters.
Oh, I don't think it's good story as such. I don't like in terms of like a narrative perspective, but I think it like is effective at making you feel what you're supposed to feel while playing it. Like,
yeah, the story in Fear feels very shoehorned. It's like we made this cool, we got this cool gameplay, we got this cool lighting. It feels fun. Yeah. What can we?
The lighting
make
is
what can the story be?
It's the best. Still, maybe my favorite lighting in any shooter.
Stop shooting me with shit.
I don't think shooters get lighting right. I really don't. I think that's an overlooked.
Fucking.
Well, I think Crysis did a good job.
Well, yeah, Crysis is.
Like, Crysis still holds up.
Yeah, I don't.
Crysis is still a pretty ass game.
I like. I don't.
Make sure you slow down on that guy. He did a cool backflip.
My quarrel with Crysis is that I really don't like the movement. It feels a little too clunky to me. It's my own. I've never heard anyone else.
And you mean keyboard and mouse as well? Like you're not talking about the stupid ass console version?
So
Get that Hell's pack.
Yeah, I am thinking about the console version when I'm talking about how clunky it feels. But I mean, I'm not talking about the controls so much as I'm talking about like the way movement is, like the pace at which it takes place. It feels awkward to me, but to be fair, I've never heard anyone express that objection, and so I accept that I may be...
And you said you were talking about the console
version.
I
was talking about the console version.
I can't... I mean, yeah, it's probably dog shit.
This is definitely a game... This is definitely an old school shooting game. It just has that feel to it.
We've
fucking Christ, the sensitivity is awful.
The field of view is bad, and the sensitivity is bad.
Halo is a little bit underappreciated.
Shoot that fuel
as far as conventionalizing shooters goes.
Jesus Christ.
But now, admittedly, Halo only was able to conventionalize shooters for a little while before Call of Duty came along and reconventionalized them to something shittier. Like
I like Call of Duty's what Call of Duty did to the controls of most shooters. I think that's a really good setup.
I'm not talking about the controls, I'm talking about the gameplay.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. Like, Halo definitely conventionalized a lot of controls, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think Halo was the first shooter game to do shooting right on console, because before then, consoles could not do shooters. I don't care what you say about, oh man, James Bond GoldenEye, that was such a great game. Yeah, at the time, if you go back and play it now, it's like, Jesus Christ, what were they thinking, mapping everything to one controller? Why am I getting shot from behind? Stop fucking shooting me!
I think the, Halo did a very good job of conventionalizing controls. Fucking Time Splitters had pilot controls.
I think there's dudes in the building, like in the other one around the corner. But I mean, yeah, that's just evolution. It's not in leaps and bounds. It's like it's gradual. You need GoldenEye to get to Halo.
Yeah, but I'm saying Halo holds up better today than GoldenEye does.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but Halo might not hold up better in the future when we're all playing on drums and a keyboard. Or whatever the convention is then.
Shut your blasphemous mouth, Rory.
Be like, Halo doesn't map the hi-hat to anything.
My hat switch isn't being used here.
There's so many guys. Fucking...
Okay, Aaron, do you remember this first level being a lot shorter than this?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 2 seconds. You like walk down one area and shoot like 5 guys and it's over. Okay, never mind.
There we go.
Now the game can actually be good.
Yeah. That was, you were asking where we were, Adam, I think, or you tried to. We're in Veblensk. You know that, famous city?
I think...
Famous for its gunfights in the street.
I think this is sort of like...
Detroit?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I was having a drink.
The good thing about this game is I'm sort of like... I feel like lately, what I'm going to set my goal is to do is address... like issues like I can't believe they've never done a special in black, so we're like correcting that now. And like I feel like I'm gonna slowly start correcting like issues, like we're gonna do another special in dark sector so you guys can appreciate it. Like it's like the one time it's like 4 guys who don't know anything about dark sector leave behind their one friend who plays dark sector, and it was like I was like, why are they playing this without me?
Is it gonna be long enough?
Oh, he's back.
Rory's doing some retroactive, it's almost like braces. He's just going back and correcting all of the rough edges.
Yeah, exactly, in the timeline.
Should we come up with a different name than this?
No, it's fine. After the fallout of Mobingi.
Is that what that game was called?
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I think Mobingi is the way.
Yes! Fucking get me into the game!
Mobingi's been around for like forever. I think
oh my god!
Like 2003.
Yes!
Yeah, it's been around longer than this.
Yeah, really.
It makes sense for him to go from that game to this game.
I have a prediction that Mobingi will outlast Battlefront 2's online. That they'll shut down the Battlefront 2 servers before they shut down the Mobingi
Battlefront 2 servers.
Probably. There's still
the new Battlefront 2. This is why you don't call 2 games Battlefront and 2 games Battlefront 2.
I keep forgetting
because of situations like this. But
they brought the original Battlefront 2 servers back up.
Yeah.
For PC.
Hey, remember that far superior in hindsight game?
For the record, Mobingi also older than Battlefront 2.
Can you imagine if you slammed microtransactions in that game? Is this skippable?
Nope. That's it. It's a good game. Can't skip it. You gotta absorb all that sweet.
You gotta absorb this garbage story that was the worst part of the game that no one ever paid attention to. An explosion that's less realistic than the one that's actually in the
I tried to pay attention to it, and it's just there's nothing there. There's no. It's like nothing. It's okay. You're a black op guy, and you're being like put on trial for murders or some shit. What's the story here?
This is all the shittiest parts of the Bourne movies. That's all this is.
Or Black Ops.
Or Black Ops, for that matter.
Sweet 240p video quality holds up real good.
Have you ever gone back and looked at some of the raw video footage from the FMV games from the Atari or the Sega CD?
No.
Oh man, if you want to talk about dog shit quality.
Oh, here we go. Now this game.
Now, if you want to stealth, you immediately blow that thing up. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Oh man, you can blow that up. Better shoot it, and then everybody in the game knows where you are. Treneska border crossing.
I'm assuming I would be better at stealthing in this game if I could hear what was going on.
Probably.
But I can't.
I don't think it matters though.
Most definitely.
It's an EA game, so as soon as you shoot somebody, as soon as you shoot somebody or somebody sees you, then everybody knows where you are. Stealthing really isn't one of
I call it the Killzone effect.
Yeah.
I love that game. Killzone Shadowfall.
Well, three was dog shit.
Special place in my heart. 3 wasn't good. But Shadowfall has a special place in my heart.
Oh, there's just guys there.
I seem to recall 3 having decent multiplayer.
I don't know.
Right? Killzone is some of my favorite multiplayer. So good.
I never got to play it with that fucking move gun.
Oh Christ, that sounds terrible.
Plastic
yeah.
thing. It's like, oh man, you can move via gun, because that's a great concept that we need to mass produce.
We're not there. Yeah, we're not there yet.
All right, so fuck this.
I mean, VR does a better job at that kind
of
stuff.
Hang on, I didn't pick up their AKs.
Well, that's what. But I mean, VR is just like VR is now. It's now the right time for VR, right? Like all technologies that come out and are successful had been previously tried, and it was just too early for it. Like, we just weren't ready for it. We always tried early. Like, as I recall, they tried to make Benjamin Button, like, 1,000 times before they finally had the technology to make Brad Pitt look 82. Which, by the way, they did quite convincingly. That's a really underappreciated movie in terms of its special effects.
I really did not like that movie.
Oh, but the special effects are great.
Oh, yeah.
What was his button?
I like it better than Forrest Gump. I
haven't seen it.
Forrest Gump?
No, Benjamin's Button or whatever.
Oh. I think Forrest. I mean, there's Forrest Gump is very quotable, but I think that Forrest Gump is kind of an fucking die.
Are you saying it's overrated?
Yeah.
If you're gonna say it's overrated, you're not gonna find anyone to agree with you more than me.
No, I'm getting kind of frustrated with these fucking controls. Because the guy moves, you swing the gun around.
Teleport yourself
the sensitivity
back to
is super low.
2006.
We should mention that you can't edit the sensitivity. It doesn't look.
You can map every other button in the game. You can't fix sensitivity.
If this was on a keyboard and mouse, it wouldn't be a problem, but it isn't.
Never got a PC release.
Never got a PC release. Otherwise, we'd be.
Otherwise, this wouldn't look like dog shit.
Yeah. Well,
this is kind of near the
Less
end.
dog shit.
This is kind of near the end of the ragdoll era. Do you remember that when every game had to have ragdoll in it? So that's why these guys are flipping the fuck around.
Yeah, I feel like a year and a half or so later, it was.
Is there ragdoll in this?
No, but they flip in the air.
Yeah, around 2008 was, I think, the last year I remember games really getting into that. Unless it was like the intentionally.
What was the first game to have ragdoll?
The first that I can remember was like Hitman 1, maybe?
Oh, I promise that was an accident, too. Like, Ragdoll back then was probably not even intentional. Ragdoll
there was probably other games before it, but the first one that I remember was that. Because I remember, like...
Hitman Codename 47?
Yeah, and the second one as well. I remember watching Andrew play it, and like, shotgunning dudes through doors as they... like, even in the Windpoint series we did in Hitman... Blood Money. It's the same sort of, like, as soon as the NPC is dead, they just become, like, weightless.
I'm so bad
at cool animation there.
I'm so bad at the old Hitman games. Even as someone who likes stealth games, I'll admit that Hitman is definitely my weakest franchise. A better barrel?
Yeah.
I don't know where I am.
The older ones are definitely more difficult because they don't hold your hand as much as the newer one.
And also the controls and like stuff
like
that now are super weird.
It might be a map. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, well, I've been here before.
I don't remember any maps.
Is there not?
Why am I playing this?
This is a really good game.
Is it?
Yeah. What don't you like about it?
Well,
is it the controls?
Yes.
Oh, there's not much we can do about that, unfortunately.
Well, and why are you playing it?
Besides the controls, this is a great game though. It has really good like
bodies.
Detection mechanics. You
can break that sign.
I think one of my favorite things about this game when I was younger was the AI.
Oh, I'm in here.
I think I would
just I have.
I just like killing dudes.
This is this cave.
No, you would have picked that up. Different cave, same barrel.
Oh, I picked up a suppressor for the AK. Not that it matters because like stealth went out the window because two guys got the jump on me and that was it.
Utilizing them assets. I really wanted a black too, and they were gonna make it for a while, and then they fucked off with it.
That's really frustrating.
I guess they just made Medal of Honor instead.
I don't think if it came out now, like, well, I guess it would come out now. I would play it because of the nostalgia of playing it, but like, I think I'm done with games like this. To be honest.
I mean, honestly, like
shooters?
the newer, what was it, 2013 Medal of Honor? Like that's basically another black game.
So I've learned
2010. The 2010. Yeah, 2010 Medal of Honor was an amazing game. That game was awesome. Loved that game. Great story, realistic gameplay. Awesome
realistic
story.
in quotes.
Well, yeah.
Then they came out with the. Then they come out with the one after that. That was like
awful. Yeah.
Awful. Yeah, super bad.
Like Warman or something.
But like
freaking War Machine, not War Machine.
Warfighter.
Warfighter. That's it. That's the one.
I'm the War Machine.
The Fight Warrior.
Yeah, I think so. One thing I've learned about myself recently.
Medal of Honor gun shooter.
So I have in my Steam library, right? I own 160 games.
That's it.
Yeah. And
sorry, Rory.
I was looking at it, and I was like, this is all the games I'm going to need for a very long time, and I'm probably only going to buy a new game if it's a sequel to one of these games. These are all the games I like.
So you're going to go through alphabetically and play them all and get every achievement and then move on to the next one, right?
Not really what I was getting at. That's a
okay.
fine idea, though. Like, I was like, these are all the, games to me aren't like the way I feel about movies. Where, like, I'll see lots of movies and I love lots of different types of movies. I don't like lots of different types of video games. I think lots of video games are super weird and... As a
principle, or you just mean that a lot of them don't appeal to you?
They just don't appeal to me like I thought they would. Like, I play a game, it's like people say it's really good, and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm much pickier about games than I am about movies. I'll watch anything, any kind of movie.
Narrow road.
I'm gonna watch the new Baywatch, and if they make 10 other Baywatches, I'm gonna watch all those Baywatches.
Are you gonna watch Pacific Rim 2?
Unfortunately, yeah, I am.
Get shot to pieces there.
Because one of the things I also learned about myself is I enjoy analyzing movies. Almost as much as I enjoy watching the movies.
Have you seen 50 Shades of Black or whatever?
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the latest two. I want to watch.
Latest two?
Yeah, there's 50 Shades.
Yeah, there's 3.
50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Free.
I thought they just made the second one.
No, this is the third one.
Oh my.
So I've seen the first one. I saw the first one in theaters. I'll probably see the new one in theaters, but I'm gonna watch the second one before I do.
How much did that theater smell like Javex?
Yeah. I actually sat at the front too.
So you're getting it's all just residual spray.
People are interested to see a guy sitting down dressed in all black in a 50 Shades movie with a notepad out. It looks kind of funny.
Drawing Dakota Johnson's boobs. and dude's like, Google exists. You're like, oh yeah.
The first movie was super shitty.
Yeah, because porno's been a thing for a long time. You can just watch that.
Okay.
There was one's kind of like fourth. there was one fourth wall breaking moment that actually got me.
I thought you were gonna say fourth Wahlberg.
No, God. And so you're sitting there, right? And he's showing her around his house, right?
I'm freedoming.
And we all know what this fucking movie's about, right? Like everybody going to see it know what it's about, even if you haven't read it, right? So, and he's like, "This is my playroom," and she's like, "What, you mean like your Xbox is in there?" And we all laughed because we all knew it's a shitty line. It's terrible. It's so cheap.
And you just hear like when Ray goes to the stairs in Miles's castle and just hears the screaming down in the basement. Dakota Johnson goes like, "No, I guess it's not an Xbox."
As soon as because
oh my God,
it's totally a joke for the audience. It's like you all know what this is about, and the gimmick is that the only person who doesn't know what it's about is the fucking character in the movie.
I really like the idea that it is the Xbox down there, though. Like the guys from Funhouse recently did a podcast where they watched 50 Shades. Jesus Christ! Somebody throwing giant hickory sticks.
It's like a building on Long Hill.
Where they watch what?
They watched 50 Shades Darker. And then they did a
so what are they all called? 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Freed.
If you think 50 Shades Freed is the most awkward title ever, it is.
That's not the logical third one.
The logic? Anyway. What are you on about?
50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker. Why didn't they go to black?
Kind of a good question.
Oh my God. We're playing it right now. We're playing Dakota Johnson in
there's so many guys.
Steel or whatever.
It's also worth noting the acting in the movie is as good as it could be.
Is it? I've heard that the main actor is shit.
No, that's totally wrong. In my opinion,
they had to recast him because he didn't want to eat ass or something.
Are you talking about the Jamie Dornan?
Yeah.
No, he's amazing. He's a terrific actor. He's so good in The Fall, too.
Well, I heard somebody say that they should cast Henry Cavill in order to punch up the fucking emoting in that movie.
What did you say his name was?
Jamie Dornan.
All right, Jamie, we got this new role for you. It's a really awful fucking book, but you get to eat Dakota Johnson's asshole.
They're totally wrong. He's a good actor, and he brings as much gravity to the role as could be brought.
Which is not a lot. Did you
watch The Fall with Gillian Anderson?
No.
He's super good in that.
Wait, is that cop show?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he plays the psychopath in that one too. The sex-obsessed.
And he's good. And yeah, he has I guess he's kind of typecast, but
What an unfortunate thing to be typecast at. Oh, I'm gonna die.
Not that unfortunate. It makes a crap ton of money doing it, I'm sure. God, this game is so good. I still remember this level.
I think I remember all the levels. Fuck. I'm not sure if it's because it doesn't have that many levels or
the shit out of his
I played it like.
Oh man, I'm running out of.
There are not that many levels. That is one thing that is
I
very
finished
true.
it. I think it's one of the only games back in this era where I actually played it on whatever the impossible difficulty is and finished it.
What were we talking?
We're talking about the 50 Shades of Grey films and.
Oh yeah, so the Funhouse guys were doing
we're doing
podcast, about it, and they said that this movie when they saw it, the main bad guy's name is it was a Jekyll or Jack Hyde or something like that.
I haven't seen the second film.
Yeah, so the main guy's because and
why the fuck are there bad guys, by the way? Like what?
Nothing happens because according to them, nothing happens in this fucking series.
Not that much happens in the first movie. I gotta give them
that. That's
fucking boxes.
So his name is Jack Hyde.
Yeah, as opposed to Jekyll.
A strong,
and Hyde.
independent white woman needs a white male.
I mean, I don't get it, to be honest. I mean,
there's nothing to get.
Like,
it's dumb.
Yeah, it's not far enough removed to be a reference.
Wait, there's grenades.
You know what I mean? Like,
I have 9 grenades. How the fuck do I throw a grenade?
That's just like taking it. That's like my character's name is Dracula. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that's just the name. There's nothing to get. It's like that thing in what's that game? Castlevania.
How do I throw grenades?
Alucard.
Look at press start and go to control.
And it's like it's Dracula backwards.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
I always thought it was just a dumb name, but when you say it
turns out it's a dumb name and a reference to something.
Yeah, why wasn't it like Hyde Jackal or something? Or whatever that nonsense is backwards. Press start and go to controls, Adam. Dang, look at those cool JPEGs.
We gotta wait now 10 years for the scrolling to actually register when he actually
can't check the controls.
The scrolling in this game is super slow.
Sweet. All right, never mind. You can map the controls in the main menu, not during play. Is it not one of the bumpers or a D-pad button?
What are you trying to do?
Throw a grenade. I got 9 of them.
Try the bumpers. All right. Try the triggers.
Oh, it is trigger.
Oh,
yeah, left trigger, right?
Wow, he threw that real far.
Well, to be fair, he was just testing to see what the controls were.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure holding it means you throw it further in this.
So let's see. Nope, you can't hold it.
Oh my god.
You can't throw him very far. You guys are just weak. You gotta cross the Volodnik Canal and he'll get stronger.
That's a balance thing, I bet. Like you can't
guaranteed.
Just snipe grenades at dudes.
Yeah. Well, especially when you get so many fucking grenades in this game.
6 rounds.
Oh, man.
007. Alright.
Oh, shit.
Don't worry, you have other guns.
You have a Glock with suppressor that probably doesn't change the damage values of the weapon. Because the suppressor would slow down the velocity of the bullet.
In what game does the suppressor change the damage of the weapon except, like, Arma?
Wildlands.
Okay, sure, yeah. Like, yeah. But, like, what game made before, like, 2015? Like,
there's also a perk that, in Wildlands that negates the damage loss.
That makes sense.
Sure.
Yep.
I like how they went realistic and then immediately stepped back on it to not go realistic.
They're thinking of perks that you could get, and you're like, fuck it, let's.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. You remember that cool thing we did? Let's undo it.
You don't get it until like fairly late in the game, though.
Sure, yeah. And seriously, Wildlands is not a sim, anyways, right? Like
it has a lot of realistic properties, but
sure,
I mean, it's It's not a simulator.
But I mean, I don't think it sells itself on its realism so much as it sells itself on being another one of those games.
Yeah, it's like a more on the side of realism shooter. It's not like it isn't Arma. That's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like you got to dial in your gun for ranges and shit, which you do in Arma, which is awesome. There's nothing more awesome than sitting like 3 kilometers away from a base of enemies, dialing in your scope on your 50 cal sniper, and watching one of the dudes explode when you nail him square in the back, and then everybody at the base scurry like ants to see what the fuck just happened.
Well, I mean, I think I can't remember if I said it on the show before, but I mean, you know, when I play Sniper Elite, you know, any of those games, and you can get like the ball shots, I always go for ball shots or head shots. So can you imagine if you're a German patrol and you go out and you find an entire platoon of German soldiers out in the middle of a field, and every single one of them has died from a shot to the balls? Like, what the fuck would you do? Like, oh no, I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Yeah, really though. Yeah. That's some Quentin Tarantino shit.
30 guys all piled up in one spot, and they all missing their balls.
I bet there's a power up down here.
Jesus Christ! Look at this. Well, it's a bunch of dead Germans. Yeah, but they're all missing their dicks.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino must be right here.
Yeah, really though. Like that'd be exactly the kind of shit that he would do.
I can't remember if I said it on PixelJunkies before, but I think Quentin fucking die.
You think Quentin Tarantino
would make a great Boba Fett movie?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd like to see his take on a Star Wars movie.
Well, he's doing a Star Trek movie, so you're gonna get it.
I think he would be better for Star Trek than Star Wars.
I think the opposite. I think it would be better for Star Wars than Star Trek.
I just don't care about Star Trek.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't care about Star Trek.
Yeah, you're not. See, I care immensely about Star Trek.
It's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not that I think it's dumb. It's a cool universe, and it's got obviously a lot of established stuff. I just don't think the movies do anything.
I think the movies. Oh well, don't like, even. Let's not talk about the new Star Trek movies.
Just
we can avoid it.
Beyond just felt like a really long episode of a TV show, where it's like everything went back to normal at the end, and nothing really. You could like. The next movie could not mention anything from the previous movie, and it wouldn't have
I was thinking about this recently. That very thing you said. Because it reminded me of the... When I think about the 2 movies that really had problems and were really disliked by critics... 2 of them...
Are you stuck now?
2 of them that really go together to... Oh, wow.
Cool. Are you stuck? Can you not jump?
No! I'm not hitting the...
Okay, I thought it didn't kill you.
I think Entourage and Suicide Squad have something oddly in common, which is that they are both
how far back is this?
Decent episodes of a TV show that either doesn't exist or doesn't exist anymore. Like if I was watching Entourage and the Entourage movie was like an episode of that, I'd be like, okay, time to watch the next episode of Entourage. Or if I was watching like one of those super whack DC animated shows and like Suicide Squad was on as an episode, I'd be like, okay, time to watch the next episode of this. Like, but I feel like that strategy doesn't make for great movies.
No, it doesn't.
I feel like that has a lot of problems.
In a like, if it's a standalone movie, then well, I guess it's presents problems either way. If it's standalone, then why does it exist if it doesn't do anything?
Yeah.
And if it's a series, then why does it exist? Because there's no continuity.
I agree, and I think that's
kill the
probably why
completely useless.
Because I usually line up pretty well with the general opinion, and on those 2 movies I didn't, and I think that's probably why, as I went into both of them expecting episodes of the TV series, and that's what I got, and no one else did that, because why would anyone else do that? Most of the people seeing Entourage probably didn't watch Entourage.
So just not getting headshots. Right.
Yeah, and that's like that's the same thing with a lot of series as well. Like it's fine in an episode to episode thing because you're waiting for the story to progress.
Yeah.
But if at the end of the season nothing has still happened,
you'd be like, "What's up?" Like,
you know what I want?
And that's what happens with like Jessica Jones and Daredevil and stuff. Like nothing happens throughout the course of a season.
And that's probably why you didn't like Star Trek Beyond, is because you weren't looking at it as you didn't want an episode of Star Trek. You wanted a movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
want an adventure that like
You know what I was thinking about this the other day, kind of. You know what I would love to see?
What?
I'd love to see a Game of Thrones movie, but that either focused on the Baratheon rebellion against the Targaryens. So, you know, focus on Robert Baratheon as the main character and have it like a young Robert Stark and Baratheon, what's his name? The king, the old king, the Baratheon. What was his name?
King Baratheon.
Yeah, it was Robert Baratheon.
Was it Robert Baratheon?
Yeah. Or that is, anyway, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ned Stark.
Yeah.
Ned Stark and Robert Baratheon.
I thought you were talking about his son Robb when you said Robert Stark.
No, I like to see like the two of them leading the rebellion against the Targaryens. I think because there's a lot of really cool lore in that era, and I think you could.
Well, just wait for Disney to buy it. They'll make 12 movies about that.
That's the thing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do another Game of Thrones show that's kind of like leading into where the show began. Because there's a lot of history there that they don't really touch on, and it's just kind of mentioned in passing, that they could totally make another series out of. But Game of Thrones is like a movie. Like, they might only be hour-long episodes, but it has the pacing and the budget of a film, for the most part. And a sizable amount of the episodes, like, I don't know, you could probably do like season supercuts or something and turn that into a 2.5-hour movie. You'd probably miss it.
Well, to me, it's like Battlestar Galactica in that way. I think Battlestar Galactica is the same thing. Mass scale things happening all the time.
Yeah.
Like, never stopping. Like,
not really, because then there's episodes that are devoted towards hot dog and getting the wings.
Who
doesn't like hot dog?
Episodes.
Like, I think, first of all, you could give Game of Thrones to Chuck Lorre, and he can make a show, a sitcom. He can have young Hodor. young Hodor. It'll be all about Hodor, everybody's favorite character. And his catchphrase is Bazinga now, by the way. I hope you realize he doesn't say Hodor.
That'd be great. It's like the lead up to
fucking
Hodor.
hawk these further.
It's young Sheldon is like the backstory to Hodor.
And then like mid-season 4, he just has a seizure on the ground and starts screaming, "Hold the door!" And that's it. Then the show just ends.
Can I talk about how like that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in Game of Thrones.
What? Hold the door?
Yeah.
That was cool though.
No, it wasn't. It answered
cool.
a question in like the dumbest way possible.
But it makes sense. It like
exactly. It makes sense.
It's dumb, but it's cool that like brands fucking with the timelines like melted a guy's brain.
That part is cool. The part that's not cool is I feel like there was a better way to do that didn't involve a guy saying the same thing over and over again to me. Like,
yeah, particularly because in other languages it didn't make any sense.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, like, what if poor like the German viewers or whatever, they're watching it and they're like, don't get it at all.
Well, but that's not the only time that's happened. I mean, that's happened for plenty of times with the English audience for Japanese games, like in really good examples in Metal Gear Solid 4 when I forget what part of the game it is, but Ocelot pretends he's dead, and he says in the English version he says, "Fox die, think again," and then in the Japanese version it's "Fox die, die nigh" or something like that. So it's a play on words that's really fast and snappy.
Yeah,
and it just makes more sense in the original Japanese. Which probably explains a lot of the story for Metal Gear Solid.
It's worth noting, that I think this is not. I think I love the English version of Metal Gear Solid, right?
Oh no, this is the one example. I'm not dissing the English version.
No, but I'm about
utter
to diss
dog
the
shit.
version.
Adam Face.
I love the English version of Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. To me, Snake
almost, buddy.
will always be the Japanese voice actor, not David Hayter. Like, when I think of Snake, that's who I remember.
Jesus Christ.
And, like, I love David Hayter. He did a great job of, like, bringing, something special to that character.
Oh, my God.
But I totally don't object to them replacing him in the Phantom Pain.
Any other work?
He's a director, a very successful one.
Oh, is he?
He did, the second X-Men film, and,
his biggest role by far was the voice of the male character in The Long Dark.
No, but I mean, like, has he been in on any other video games? And you just answered it.
No, well, not really. Well, he has, but he's better as a. He's more known as a behind the camera guy. Not that there's a camera and voice acting.
Man, it'd be cool if he directed a Metal Gear Solid movie. Although
they won't let him do that.
No, does Hideo Kojima not like him?
I don't. So here's my understanding of the situation. Hideo Kojima tried to get David Hayter replaced in the third game. And
which makes sense, because it's a different Snake.
Yes, thank you. And, like, David Hayter took that as a slight to him. I'm like, it's a different person. Like,
wasn't it a clone?
But genetics don't determine voice, right? Like, I can move your ass to Finland, and you would sound like more like, well, not now, obviously, because you're too old, but like...
Yeah, but the pitch of the voice. Like, you might have a different accent or something, but wouldn't the resonance be the same?
To a certain extent, like, there are some sort of immutable characteristics of voice, but, like, things like, you know, lots of things can make your voice lower. Like Emma Stone, right? Like, she has, like, a vocal condition.
Does she?
Right? Yeah. Which makes
why she's, like, Marge all the time?
Which makes her voice lower than it ordinarily would be, right? And you could really easily see how that might...
But she got a nice voice, though.
Something like... Oh, I think she has a great voice.
She got a nice... one of them smoky voices, almost like Scarlett Johansson.
But, like, I think you could play that, especially into a character like Snake.
Do you mean a smoky voice like this?
No, not a smoker voice.
Okay. But yeah, I think that would have been, you know...
Watch out for the shotgun, guys.
I understand that David Hayter wanted to play Snake forever, but...
I mean, it's a good gig.
It's a great gig.
All you gotta look is Dan Castellaneta will be like, do you want to play this character called Homer Simpson? I don't know. Will it pay the bills? Yeah, Dan. Yeah. It's gonna pay the bills. You're not gonna have to worry about a job for the rest of your life.
But, like, at the end of the day, Hideo Kojima is the guy with the vision for that game.
Shotgun guys, right? Man, I'm telling you.
And he's not dead.
If Hideo Kojima does something with his game, it's not a fucking accident. It's not an accident. I trust him unconditionally to make the game.
Konami
well, I wouldn't go that far.
To make what I mean to see his vision through for the game. I'm not saying I trust him to make the best game, but I trust him unconditionally in his vision for Metal Gear Solid. And what it should be. Definitely hands down my favorite, easily my like top 3 creative people behind gaming.
All right, you know what?
Is the third level the one with the warehouse? Is that the one?
The one with the warehouse. I'm trying to think of what. The third one is the one with the Cold War.
You remember that really hot rainforest in the middle of fuck off?
No, I thought it was like you go into the kind of through the sewer or something, and then you go. I think
you're talking about the first one. Like what you're describing to me sounds like a scene in the first game. No, you haven't got the sniper level yet.
Is the sniper level the third level, or is that the third level of the warehouse? I can't remember. That's the one with the big open courtyard, and then you go in underneath, and there's like...
Are you talking about Black or Metal Gear Solid?
I'm talking about Black.
I thought you were talking about Metal Gear Solid. I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. You were like, the third one. I think you meant the third Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, I also thought
I was like, the warehouse? Like, what are you
looking at this, I'm pointing at this, I'm saying the third...
Yeah, but we were talking about Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. I said, is the third level.
No, you said the third one. The third one.
The third one, so I thought you were talking about
Read
the third
my mind. How can you not...
Don't be a fucking idiot.
You're the one that can't read my mind, dumbass.
It's so confusing. I think what we all can agree is that we're all pumped for Death Stranding, and I can't wait.
I am both pumped and apprehensive towards Death Stranding, because Hideo Kojima is both... Hideo Kojima is brilliant, and he's also so brilliant that he's a fucking idiot.
Not correct.
He entirely correct.
When I see some gameplay, I'll reassess.
Yep.
When has Kojima made bad gameplay? Seriously, a legitimate question.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
I completely disagree.
The original.
I'm not saying that he makes bad gameplay.
What do you mean the original? Is there another Metal Gear Solid 3 that I don't know about?
Well, there was Metal Gear Solid 3 for the PlayStation 2, and then there was like Subsistence or whatever.
Oh, yeah, fuck all that. No, original OG Metal Gear Solid 3 is where it's
That's not the concern, Rory. It's not the concern that he's going to make bad gameplay.
Sorry, can you move close to the grenade? Thank you.
You don't know what it is?
Death Stranding might not have any. Because it very much feels almost like a Telltale game at this point, where it's like watch a cutscene and hit a button, you know?
Hideo Kojima has said that if you're familiar with games like Uncharted or The Division, and he specifically called out those games, you're going to find Death Stranding very approachable.
I think he's trolling you.
And he might be, because Hideo Kojima is a known liar when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's
Uncharted
totally
and
kidding.
The Division are exactly the same kind of game.
Well, I think he meant third-person shooter.
I also think he's totally joking.
He might be totally
joking. The Division? Like, what?
And I can
it's actually funny. Too.
I can get the atmosphere.
Well, what he's saying is because the whole thing, and this is where I think the game might be completely up its own ass. Is he's saying that in human evolution, humans first invented the spear, which allowed them to hunt, and then they invented the rope, which allowed them to... That was the first thing? Well, it's a fucking metaphor. Calm the fuck down and let me fucking explain what I'm talking about. Humans made the spear, which allowed them to hunt and kind of master their environment, and then they made they made the spear, and then they made the rope, which allowed them to secure things in place and allowed them to form an agrarian society. So it was kind of the next step in human evolution. He said if every game before Death Stranding is the spear, then Death Stranding is going to be the rope. So he thinks it's going to be the next evolution in games. This is what he said about the game. So anything less than that is going to be is not a complete failure, but it's going to be less than what he wanted. So that's why I think this game might be up its own ass. I'm looking forward to it, but there's a very good chance.
So what I would say is that what Hideo Kojima considers to be an evolution in game might be something that the rest of the people consider to be a very minuscule detail.
Yeah. Now, that being said, he has done a lot to... I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5... has some of the best controls I have ever had for a third-person stealth-based game. To the point where every game that wants to be a stealth-based game should copy Metal Gear Solid 5's controls. They are near perfect, absolutely great. Love that.
Yeah, I also got damaged there when I did that.
They are near perfect.
So equating his game to a rope, he's saying it's gonna just be flaccid.
Yes. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want this game to fail. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to this game.
I'm sure it won't fail no matter what.
But there's the amount of stuff that he's talked up his own game. He might be massively up his own ass with this because Hideo Kojima can get up his own ass about his about stuff. Not saying he's not brilliant because he's written some truly brilliant stories, but he also doesn't know when to stop writing.
From what I've seen, it looks very pretentious. So
they're all high shooting games, like thematically, right? Like, especially MGS4.
What the fuck is my objective here? Search the farm building. All right. Well, I'm guessing this is the farm.
Like, MGS4 and MGS3 shoot super high.
Yeah, but they also don't have like skeletons and rainbows and Mads Mikkelsen and Guillermo del Toro.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Whatever. Spell your name correctly, then, asshole. And Guillermo del Toro with a baby and a light bulb, like. That stuff, it's ridiculous, but it's not like...
Those games were all whack, too, though.
I don't get...
They were.
I get
that one guy shot bees. Bees!
At the moment, it's presented as, like, look at how wacky this is, just for the sake of it, without any context. Now, hopefully there'll be context when you play the game, and they'll be like,
there might not be,
this is why this... Yeah, but then it just comes off as, like... different for the sake of it, which comes off as pretentious.
I know what you're saying. I wish Andrew was here.
Oh my god! How'd you get in this building?
Because he would disagree. He'd be like, "No, I'd suck Kojima's balls dry."
He would.
We're
glad you're coming home.
Brilliant. Brilliant writing. It's so good.
Oh, honestly,
MGS4. Run away from the grenades.
MGS4 is one of the best games I've ever played in my life. I know Adam's not into it.
Now, that being, I mean, MGS5, great game, and I all of the faults with MGS5, I lay entirely on Konami's feet.
You bet.
Not Kojima's, because I think if Kojima was actually, given license to make it the game how he wanted, we could have gotten, we would have gotten probably the best Metal Gear Solid game that he's ever made.
It's also worth noting that Metal Gear Survive. This is like the viewers won't be able to take advantage of this, but I just want to let you know, Aaron, Metal Gear Survive has an open beta this weekend. That this time PCs included. It wasn't the first time.
Cool. So I didn't know it existed yet.
You can join the beta and play it a bit.
Maybe.
But I totally agree. I totally blame Konami for any issues that occurred.
Shotgun guy.
With Metal Gear Solid 5, and there's still, even so, there are a lot of good things
fucking still alive?
About Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Like you say, the controls are good.
Great.
I don't think the story is as bad as a lot of other Metal Gear fans have said it is. I think there are a lot of positives to the story.
Well, the problem with the story is it's unfinished.
Well,
and that's the biggest issue I have with it. It's great. It's a great story right up until the fact that you realize a lot of stuff was cut, and had the stuff been left into the game, I feel like it would have been better. Fucking
I also think this game relies more than any other Metal Gear Solid game, mainline Metal Gear Solid game, on you having played the other games. and I can imagine some people find that kind of off-putting.
And that's what I was gonna say. I would like a Metal Gear Solid 3 to be released, re-released with Metal Gear Solid 5's controls, because I think Metal Gear Solid 3 is the most accessible of the games.
Yeah.
Because it's just telling it's like
it's Andrew's favorite.
It's the first one, if I remember correctly, and the story in that is it's the perfect blend of Kojima being up his own ass and yet still being craptastic and stupidly fun.
It is a really good game.
Because Metal Gear Solid 2 is a wretched story in terms of how it's. I can appreciate what Metal Gear Solid 2 is trying to do. I really can.
2 wasn't good.
2 has issues,
but at the same time, like, I can appreciate what he's trying to do, but it's just he doesn't go about it in the right way, and it falls very flat. Whereas opposed to Metal Gear Solid 3 does not fall flat. It's a very lovable game. I mean, if you can get past the ludicrous fucking controls.
Although I will say it's definitely as far as Metal Gear games go, it's definitely on the lower half of my list.
Really?
Of preferred Metal Gear games, yeah. 3 is I love 3.
Jesus.
It's really good. There's so many good things about it, but like 1 and 4 to me are the pinnacle of the series for sure.
Yeah, one was great.
I didn't like 4. 4 was just too much for me.
Oh, I loved it. I can't put that fucking game down when I play it.
I played 1 and 2. 1 was great. 2 was
1 is objectively amazing.
3 I started twice years apart and couldn't get into it because it's just like I know it's campy and stuff, but it's just too. It's too far.
I don't think. I definitely don't think they're definitely not the kind of games I'd recommend to you.
Yeah, they're just like it's campy, but it's like it's not funny or jovial at any point. It's still like it takes itself super seriously. And like one of the first scenes in the game is Snake jumping off a tree for like 8 minutes. And then it's like super slow pans around. It's like, come on! Start the fucking game already. And it's like, it's not like, he doesn't like wink and it's not like, super quiet and he's like, eh!
It's like, who's the guy from Tool, or was it Home Improvement? Who was the guy?
Oh, Kevin Sorbo?
Wilson. No, it's Ranyabo. There's no like, it's not self-aware. Like Marvel could do the same sort of thing, and it would be totally fine because the character would be dumb or something. You know, like there'd be a joke in there somewhere, or there'd be a little bit of foreshadowing.
I'm
not saying that they would do it. I'm just saying if you want to make something campy and involve the audience with it, you go about it the Marvel
it's definitely Metal Gear Solid. Definitely, in my opinion, isn't a wide appeal game. It may be very successful, but that's just because niche markets are bigger than people who make games give them credit for. Like that I always think that's super weird when people are like, "Oh, we could make this game this way, but it wouldn't sell." I'm like, it's not going to sell 60 million copies, but like niche audiences are big.
It's not going to make all the money.
Like StarCraft is a niche audience.
Oh, right, I gotta click the
and like, you got to play at sniper level. Sniper level is where it's at.
I think sniper level is level 3, right?
Yeah, this sniper level is the best level.
I wasn't
in the game,
sure
probably.
if it was the warehouse or if it was the sniper level.
I think it's the sniper level.
Yeah, I think it's also.
This is so good. This story is super weird, but I hate all these shots. This is.
I think the biggest problem with
Vaseline
Metal Gear Solid is
man was willing to fall.
And here's the thing: I dish on Metal Gear Solid story a lot because it deserves to be dished on because it's fucking craptastic. But
well, I don't know if it deserves to be dished on. I think it's definitely not for you.
It is leagues and leagues and leagues. I think. Okay, here's my main problem with Metal Gear Solid. It's not very accessible to new fans.
It's definitely not accessible to new fans.
And it's exceedingly convoluted, but it is leagues easier than Kingdom Hearts. Like, Kingdom Hearts, I spent 45 fucking minutes the other day trying to read into the lore of Kingdom Hearts to figure out what the fuck was happening in the third game. And I gave up, because the level of complexity and... Because here's the problem with Kingdom Hearts. It's a game whose primary story that you need to understand the game is told over the course of, like, 11 platforms and 12 games.
Yeah, exactly.
There's games that came out on the PlayStation 2, on the on the PSP, on the PS Vita, on the DS, on the 3DS. There's 2 that came out for 2 different types of mobile phones.
But at least Metal Gear was in like a sequence of consoles, like PlayStation 1. Well, I guess I know there's like PSP and stuff like that.
Games and shit, and they're also all out of order.
Yeah, but like, but here's the thing with that. They're like, what do you need? I was like, what do you need to know? What games do you need to play in order to get the story of Kingdom Hearts 3? Does it take place right after Kingdom Hearts 2? No. You need to play Kingdom Hearts Recoded, which is a mobile online game only. And you also need to play Dream Drop Distance, or whatever the fuck it was, which is a 3DS game. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a sniper level.
I know what you're saying, because the storyline for Tekken is also very convoluted, and also over multiple things.
But you don't need the storyline in Tekken to play the game.
That's true. You don't need it to enjoy the game.
You know, the main thing about Kingdom Hearts is the story. Oh, work will set you free.
This level.
Oh. Can't wait to shit on this.
Rory some time alone here.
This is one of my favorite levels in shooting game history.
Here's this med pack.
Shooting game. Nice job, Rory. Shooter history.
In shoot history.
So what would be your favorite level in shooter history?
Aaron, I'll let you go first.
Oh Jesus, I don't know. The first level of Crisis is really good.
It's a good choice.
I don't know if that stands out in my mind, but shooters. I don't know what shooters we got. Here's War. Nothing really stands out there. Fear. Nothing.
Oh, I don't have any.
Really stands out. Halo.
For me, nothing will ever beat High Charity for Halo in Halo 2. When it's the first level in High Charity where you're Master Chief and you just got teleported on the High Charity, the Covenant space station, and you are a oh man, there's an AK-47 down here. And I don't know. There's just I love the idea of like, because there's so many times in that game where you're in that level where you're running around and you see brutes and elites just fucking tearing each other apart, and the music is awesome and the atmosphere is awesome. Love that level. I go back and play it all the time on the
Play it all the time is great.
What?
I was just about to say that. He was making a Pete Hines joke.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna like be a dick and give like a couple small quick examples. The hangar level.
Oh, is this a WA?
It kind of does look like one, actually.
I think it is.
The hangar level in James Bond Nightfire.
So what am I doing here?
The runway level in GoldenEye was fun.
Good choice. Oh yeah.
Just because it had a tank and you could also blow up the plane that you fly away in, and it was dumb.
I also.
So am I just in this building?
It looks like it.
I'm gonna say the first level in Resistance: Fall of Man, because every time I play it, I know what's coming.
Oh, there's a delay.
I'm like, I love this because I know that I'm about to have a lot of fun for the next like 12 hours. Like, it's like, here we go. I'm getting started. Like, I'm landing in the Osprey. I'm coming down. I pick up my first weapon, and I'm ready to go.
I think the appeal about the first level in Crisis is that it's like it takes up to that point. It's a very linear game. Like, it has basically one minor set piece prior to that where you actually shoot people. And it takes a very linear experience, and then it's like, now you have this whole open level to tackle your objective any way you want. And it was like once you're up on that crest of the hill and the sun is rising, I think like that at that point, because it became open world and you could go anywhere and do anything that you wanted to complete the mission. So it just gave you a lot more freedom than I think shooters at the time, at least. Like, you have to remember, this came out in 2006. Crysis came out like less than a year later. So it's like, look at this game now, and then look at what Crysis is and still holds up against games today. Especially with, open world elements that games like this, which are great for its time, didn't do.
Exactly.
It's definitely not my favorite, but I remember one part of a game that I played a lot in my childhood that I really liked. Star Wars Republic Commando. There's a part that we got to because we beat that game, right? We did that in the series.
Yeah.
Where it's in the second area on the Prosecutor, the ship. And you're in a hangar bay, and you're holding off waves of waves.
Is that the one with the
AT? Yeah, the ATTE comes up, and you're in the can. Every time, love playing that.
Yeah,
because it was I don't know, there's something about where I'm just like, oh man, that was. Get out of the way.
Another game of that era, 2005. That
was a good game.
It's kind of cheating because I don't really consider it a shooter, even though its primary mechanic is shooting. But the first level of Half-Life 2 with the monologue.
Yeah.
So exciting every
City
time
17.
I play it.
Welcome to City 17.
It's one of the best, like, narrations per unit time I've ever heard, because he doesn't get a lot of time.
What?
Will they be coming from the other direction?
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't recall that they do. I think once you get to this building, they might storm the building you're in, and then you just gotta leave. But it's been, 10 years since I played this, so I ain't remember. Yeah, that was good. That was fun. I didn't play that until, like, long after. I think I got it on, when the orange box came out. That's
Did
when
you
I
still
played
like
Half-Life.
it?
Half-Life, yeah. I still enjoyed Half-Life.
So another one that comes to mind for me is in BioShock Infinite, when it's kind of near the midway to later half of the game, where the Vox Populi have just taken out the I think you've taken out Jeremiah Fink, and the Vox Populi are pushing the Prophet's men out, and you're going through the what was once like a really nice part of town, and it's just burning, and the atmosphere is great, and there's a bunch of really nice sandboxes in that level.
That's the best level in BioShock Infinite, in my opinion.
And that's a great game. One of my favorite games of all
time. That's around the time you get to that Zeppelin thing with the bird.
Yeah.
What's the name of that thing?
Songbird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess they're just walking up Main Street.
That game is super good, and that was one of those games where I like I don't know. It's about like a 14-hour game.
Oh, he jumped into it too.
Maybe like if you take your time, like you can beat it faster. You can beat it in like 11 hours.
Yeah, I think I got through it.
How do I increase the zoom?
I think I spent 14 hours on my first playthrough, and
D-pad or something.
One of the things I found about it is like I wasn't so enthusiastic for about the first 4 hours, and then I really liked the next the next 8 hours of the game, and then I got enthusiastic about the beginning because like once I knew what it was setting up, I could appreciate it a little more.
Yeah, well, the beginning is what got me excited for the rest of it.
So I had the opposite.
The opposite effect. Because I was like, I'm not that interested in Infinite, and then I think I played the demo or something. I didn't get the full game immediately.
And then you loved it.
And then I was like, man, the atmosphere and like the setting of everything that they're setting up here at the beginning, because like the first hour and a half of that game is just like
it's just setting.
Yeah, just learning about Elizabeth and building up like that carnival.
All the lighting is really good. Can we just say that is a game that gets lighting right?
And here's the thing, like, because you have to remember when that game came out. Every other game looked like this, very gray, very drab, and I'm not dissing this game in particular, but this is a good example.
It was definitely.
And
like
honestly, one of the only ones that didn't were the first two BioShocks.
And yeah, and even they were very just dark games. Like generally,
they were dark, but they didn't have the same color palette as these gray games.
But then you're playing BioShock, and you're in the lighthouse, and you go up, and then you shoot up in the bathysphere, and then light.
Yeah,
brilliant golden light, and then purple.
Yeah, the purple and stained glass.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit! Cool. I can't remember and I've had this thought. I can't remember the last time I saw purple in a fucking video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Saints Row.
Saints Row got a fuck ton of purple.
In a shooter, I meant. I mean, the last one was probably Halo because all the Covenant, have purple.
Super good. And I'm not as much like. Obviously, I do as
do I get it?
Regular Thomases will know.
Oh,
I do prefer the first 2 games, but I'm not one of the BioShock purists who doesn't like Infinite. I think Infinite is super good.
Purists.
Like some of them are like some of the people who prefer the first 2 games will stick. to the first
Rapture
2
is
games,
in
right?
Infinite.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is,
for like 8 seconds.
I'm not saying they think it's
Infinite.
sacrilegious, but it's such a departure that of course some of the loyalists from the original game aren't going to like it. But now, I do like it a lot.
It's interesting because if you go back and look at early, BioShock Infinite is probably one of the games that changed most over the course of its development. If you go back and look at very early, footage of that game, not only is it a much darker game in terms of like just visuals, but Elizabeth is older and she can't speak at all. She's a silent protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Then it changes, and I think they were, a lot of stuff changed. Like, they were having, if you go back, because I saw, E3 2009, when they were first showing off some of the demos for that game. Oh, I was going to shoot that guy. They showed some stuff that was going to happen in that game that never actually kind of did anything.
I think,
shit.
Yeah, that did change, and although I am totally open to the idea that it changed for the better. Also, every time I hear about something that was going to end up one way and change, I also want to play the other one.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of knowing what it was like if Elizabeth was older and a silent protagonist.
That's like, I think we said that the same thing about Age of Ultron, where was it Age of Ultron? Where we were like, I want to see a director's cut of this movie.
Oh, I want to see a director's cut of that movie to fix all the problems. But I feel like the director's cut I want to see of Age of Ultron is a different director. I want to see... I feel like what I actually want to see is someone else direct Age of Ultron. And I love Joss Whedon. Everyone knows that. Like, that's, that's one of the first things you learn about me as a person. But
I think that
I'd like
the
to see someone
current
else's
there, though, is the fact that Joss wasn't really that confident in his work on the 2 Avenger movies.
And, and I think, honestly, I think I just like to see a different interpretation of that story. Nothing against Joss, who I think is amazing, of course.
Yeah, and like you're talking about the color and stuff, I've taken screenshots in GTA 4, and I think that was around the time that stuff started to end. Because I've, in recent years, gone back and looked at some of the screenshots from GTA 4, and seriously thought they were like, had black and white filters on them.
Right, yeah.
Until I realized that, no, the game is just that lacking in color.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh my god, it's so washed out and so...
I'm glad that's that period of gaming, because if I remember correctly, some of the first games that started to do that were like Quake. Like that was a long period in gaming, because the original Quake was very washed out. This game is very washed out. Most of the Call of Duties very washed out.
Yeah.
Now not every game, obviously, because look at Halo. Halo was a very bright, colorful game.
I think it
Resistance
works.
2 and 3 were also very bright.
It works in the context.
Resistance 1.
Not Resistance 1. Although I will say, I think you can get away with certain things if you have the personality to pull it off. Like, I think that's why Quake got away with it. You know what I mean? It's because it had, like, a lot more personality than Call of Duty had, right?
Alright. Hang on, wait.
Hey, watch out, guy! The gun discharged.
I think this works, like, I think this
That guy was like, oh, what was that?
This feels very, like, real color, in a way, in some levels, anyway. It feels more realistic color-wise, because it's going for that kind of gritty, almost like apocalyptic town aesthetic. But for a game like GTA 4, there's no excuse.
Yeah, I agree 100%. GTA 4 is probably the most interesting game I've ever played in so many ways, because there's so many things I love about it and so many things that I think are shit about it.
It's got a great story.
Stop moving!
The gameplay is not good.
And maybe that's it. Maybe it's as simple as that.
I mean, I remember thinking GTA 4 had great gameplay when it first came out. But
yeah,
it probably did, honestly.
It probably did in retrospect, but like now, if you going from GTA 5 to GTA 4 is impossible, because GTA 5, which I mean, there's some problems I have with GTA 5's controls, but they are infinitely better than
even
GTA
before
4's.
GTA 5 came out. I went back because I didn't finish Ballad of Gay Tony.
I never played any
before
of the
GTA 5
DLC.
came out.
So far, I played a little bit of.
So before 5 came out, I went back and played. Oh my god. Ballad of Gay Tony, and the aiming and the cover mechanics, just dog shit. They're awful.
Cover mechanics, I can stomach them in third-person games.
You kind of need them.
I will never accept them in a first-person game. I don't give a shit. I can crouch and hide behind a fucking block. Because I can see how in cover I am. If I can't see that asshole, he probably can't see me. Like,
So did you play Crysis 2?
Oh yeah, I played all the Crysises, yeah.
So did you like the cover mechanics in that?
I don't remember. The Crysis 2 was like a bazillion years ago, right?
Well, yeah, but the cover mechanics in that, it wasn't like press a button and go and cover. It was like crouch behind a wall, but the game knew
what cover was.
Yeah, it knew what cover was. So when you like leaned forward, you would like almost stand up a little bit.
I don't even remember.
And you would like aim above the wall, and when you let go, you know. So it was almost
I mean, in theory, that sounds cool. Like,
yeah. So you could like lean around cover without having to actually like crouch and stand up and stuff.
Look at my biggest quarrel with the 2013 Thief game was that it had
Jesus Christ, that came out that long
cover
ago?
mechanics. Yeah,
I remember that was a new game.
Yeah.
Stop running away from my nades.
And another game that I like. What I think.
Stop.
Who is it that shares this opinion? It's a prominent. I think it's Total Biscuit. It's Total Biscuit who also liked the new Thief.
He also likes hitting women.
And
thing?
Yeah, I heard he did something where he either sexually assaulted or
allegedly.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Unless they want to be hit, don't be at it.
But I think he got flack for liking the new Thief because so many of the old Thief fans didn't like it. But just like so many of the old Devil May Cry fans didn't like DMC.
Yeah, and that was a great game, but
I agree.
They really needed to workshop that title.
Oh boy, did they ever! And
it's called Devil May Cry DMC, and DMC stands for...
It's called DMC Devil May Cry.
And DMC, guess what DMC stands for?
Is that the company that made it DeLorean?
Yes.
It also stands for Devil May Cry.
Oh, really?
And so it's called Devil May Cry, which is not ideal.
It's like an ATM machine.
No current primary objective.
And to be fair to those people, just like the BioShock thing, DMC is very different from the old games. And I happen to like both a lot, because I like hack and slash games. But,
that's why we call BioShock Infinite BI.
Yeah. I wish there were more hack and slash games.
Because Elizabeth's bi. Who knows, though, maybe she's dead. She had her... Oh, Jesus. She had her pinky cut off by a portal. Spoilers. That's why she wears a thimble.
You should probably play BioShock Infinite if you haven't already.
Oh.
But don't play it without playing the first two.
I remember seeing someone cosplay. We were at Sapphire on the Rock one year. Andrew and Jordan were there. And someone dressed as Elizabeth, I guess I had drawn a poster of Elizabeth.
Yeah, I remember it.
And
what was which costume was it? Was it her first one?
The blue.
Oh, okay.
In the poster it was blue, but she was wearing the white with the blue collar on it or whatever.
Oh, that one.
With like I think it was the bird
first
cage.
costume.
Yeah. And you got the thing in the background.
Yeah. Well, in the poster,
you still have one of those?
The first. I still have the file. I don't know. Actually, I might have prints of it.
I'll take one if you do.
Anyway, yeah. So she bought one of the posters. I think I gave it to her for like cheap or half price or something.
Yeah.
Because it's like a nice costume. And then she came back like 10 minutes later and flicked chocolate coins at us. Because in the game it's like book or catch. And
yeah.
So she like came down. She's like catch and flicked coins at us.
That's good.
That's cool.
And she had a thimble on her finger, and I was like, "You didn't cut your finger off." Inaccurate cosplay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was cool.
That was a popular cosplay.
Yep.
It still is, of course.
Same with Sucker Punch. Had a baby doll. I had Sucker Punch stickers, and I gave one of those to her. There's a lot of decent costumes there, but also smelled profusely like teenager sweat.
The Sci-Fi and the Rock smells like an RT convention. Yeah.
Well,
oh yeah.
An RT.
Rooster Teeth.
Or
what one can only assume a Rooster Teeth convention smells like.
Dog shit sweated.
Well, I mean that's
armpits.
any kind of convention.
No, it's not any kind of convention. I
mean,
would say
like,
the Hugo Boss convention smells pretty good.
No, I meant, you know what I mean. Any kind of comic or geek convention.
A lot of conventions. Yeah,
any kind of geek convention. There we go. Yeah. I think we've narrowed it down. Yeah.
Just rocket. Oh my god. Fuck off.
Are not part
or
of
like an
geek
arcade.
culture.
Arcades smell terrible too.
Not anymore. They don't exist.
Oh no, they do.
You're wrong.
That arcade you're thinking of, so a prominent arcade here.
The only one.
Closed down, but there's another one that bought those machines, or a lot of them. A substantial
AI
portion.
needs some work in this game.
Yeah, I agree, but at the time, I think it was
2006. Humans were still inventing sticks and ropes or whatever you were saying there.
But yeah, I think they're opening another arcade that bought a lot of the machines. Like I know they at least bought the Tekken 3 machine. And so
stop doing that.
I'd like to go to the new arcade and play some Tekken 3.
Yeah, let's see. Like, arcades are dumb.
You just blew him up.
Arcades are not dumb.
They are dumb.
You're gonna have a hard road arguing this one with me.
All right. Well, if microtransactions are dumb, then fucking arcades are dumb, Rory.
Okay, this is some reductive bullshit.
You're talking about,
where's
my
buddy?
Microtransactions are ruining gaming.
Fucking watch my back, you piece of shit.
Arcades have been around forever, and I've been paying $8 to ride a roller coaster simulator that doesn't even blow wind at me or anything. And I'm just sitting in a chair that's moving left and right.
Oh my
God,
man,
so immersive. Oh man, I could spend $8 at Disney World and go on a real roller coaster probably.
But well, okay, so first of all,
it's more than
whatever. However
Stop
much
shooting rockets
it would be
at
different if you had to buy the arcade machine and then put quarters in.
So
that's what a microtransaction is. You're buying a game and then you're putting quarters in the game. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
You're putting quarters in it to continue playing it though.
Yeah, but that's just like saying paying your light bill's a microtransaction. You gotta keep the light on to.
Why can't you pay like $2 to just play the game until you're done with it?
Well, you can if you're a dick.
You can't every time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Every time you like.
There's either with every arcade game, like a cabinet game or something that whatever. There's either a counter or a number of lives.
But you're making up for the fact that you didn't buy the game. Do you see the difference?
But you can't buy those games.
You can buy the cabinet if you want.
You can buy the cabinet, but you can't buy those games.
Die!
Yeah, you can. You can buy a cabinet with that game.
But I'm saying, like, there's no console or PC version of these games. I mean, maybe now there is in some cases, but there never used to be, like, home versions of these games. And so if you wanted to play them, you either needed to fork over $100,000 for the cabinet, or
yeah, we're really expensive.
I've never had a game that I know less what I'm doing. I'm just literally wandering about.
That's what you do. That's what this game is.
That's kind of what, yeah. Like me and Aaron played this too. We didn't know what we were up to either because we didn't pay any fucking attention to the story.
I was however old I was, 15, 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to shoot shit. It was a good time.
Yeah, basically all I wanted to do when this game came out in 2006, I wanted to watch horror movies and I wanted to shoot people in video games. Yeah. That's all I wanted to do.
Those are simpler times now. All you talk about is fucking fighting games and porn conventions.
To be fair, I still watch horror movies.
I wonder what those conventions smell like.
Chill out.
Oh,
you know they smell bad.
It's either like really cheap perfume or like yeast.
Yes.
It's got a real yeasty smell.
One of the things I've taken pride in as like a human being is that I haven't grown a lot or changed. I've remained essentially static for my entire existence.
Well, I can track your growth via your interests.
Via my interests, basically, which they've always been different, but they've always been in the same areas of like entertainment and.
Oh my God!
Like they've always been like I have a new obsession or whatever for a year or a year and a half. But it's always like a TV show or a genre or something. It's never like all of a sudden Rory got into meditation and became a monk or something. And then it was the time Rory joined the Jehovah's Witnesses or something.
I remember all these times you're bringing up.
Like, it's always been pretty easy. If you can do it in your basement, that's my restriction. If you just sit down and watch something or play something, that was it.
Yeah.
Am I going the right way?
Yeah, we're like halfway through this game now.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, this game only has like 7 missions or something.
We could beat this whole game in one city. And then we can play it again on Black Ops mode.
You could jump that much.
Can you imagine we turn this into a series?
Yeah. Not a series, just a sitting.
Yeah.
A sitting
one
video.
4-hour video.
You're the one editing it.
The great thing about this game
is the most hallway fucking part of this game I've ever seen. Like, look at this.
You want to know what was great about this game?
No.
Is that this was a time when you could rent video games, and this was a game you could rent and beat, and then send it back to Blockbuster.
You're
like,
you're making us sound so old.
It kind of is. It's like 11 years old now.
I remember when my buddy had a Sega, whatever the hell they made.
They made a lot of things.
Dreamcast, I think it was.
How many fucking minorities am I killing here?
And we popped up to Microplay and rented like 10 games and burnt them all onto discs and then brought them back. and then, you know, then by the end of the year, he had
Microplay is not in business anymore.
Then he had,
Aaron shuts down a game store.
I didn't do it either. And he had a massive binder full of discs for like every fucking game for Sega Dreamcast.
When I was in Ottawa, I forget what the neighborhood is called, but it has a name, and I should know it, and I don't remember.
Ontario.
But when I was in, yeah, the neighborhood of Ontario. When I was in this one particular neighborhood in Ottawa, they had a Microplay. And I was like, it was right next to the,
to one Microplay.
What's the,
holy shit!
What's the thing you get? What's the food called?
Mana?
No, it's like a sandwich. It's like a sandwich. It's like a Middle Eastern thing.
Like a
like gyro?
A naan?
No, not a gyro.
Naan bread? A samosa?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't falafel.
Falafel, Jesus Christ! I don't know why I can say that.
It's like a shawarma.
Oh.
It was right next to a shawarma place.
Just like Avengers, Rory.
It's sitting right there.
Yeah, Captain America with a beard.
Speaking of which, if you're in Ottawa, go to the shawarma place.
Next to the old Microplay.
Next to the Microplay.
That's definitely still there.
Get some games. There's also like, I think there's like a Jamaican store or something there. I could be wrong.
That's racist.
No, I think it is a Jamaican store.
Where else can you get Mario Kart on N64 or whatever? Harvest Moon on PS1.
It's pretty cool little neighborhood.
Is everything dead now?
I wonder how much that goes for now.
Miss Enemy.
Well, who's shooting at me?
I bought Harvest Moon 1 on PS1 like 10 years ago for $90. Because that's how much it was.
Jesus.
Where am I getting
$90.
Oh, it's up
But it was
there.
also a mint condition copy.
Well, like, collectible items are worth a lot. Like, that's why you pay to the nose for, like,
Jesus
accessories.
Christ.
Like, that's why arcade sticks are, like, $200.
Yeah.
Like, the best ones. Well, not the best ones, but
they also got, like,
decent ones.
Korean guy's sweat or whatever on them from Turbo Evo contest.
Oh, forget, if you need a Korean stick, forget it if you live in Canada.
Like 9 million buttons on it?
You're gonna be paying like 260 Canadian dollars for that to get it shipped over here.
Like
forget it.
Hotas Warthog X56 Pro or whatever.
The Korean sticks are super nice. You see their levers use a rubber instead of a spring, so they snap back to neutral faster.
Like Adam's tank.
And it's really cool.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. GTA thing, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so I got a tank in GTA, and we found out that if you're in if you turn that turret, it will do anything and everything to get that turret into the position that you're turning it into, including flipping the tank through the air.
Yeah. Also, when it's turned at any degree, when you get out of the tank, it resets back to forward.
Yeah,
in about
very
quarter
quickly.
of a second.
Yeah. So we've discovered a cool exploit where we can put the tank up to next to a solid object that does not move, like a pole. Put it like on an angle like this, so the tank barrel's at a 90-degree angle to the front of the tank, and then all we then do is I get out of the tank, and the tank snaps. The turret snaps forward, and then it flings the tank into the air. So like a 20-ton tank is soaring through the air.
That's great.
So Adam, before we clue up this over hour-long special, I have two questions about this. Question one will be, how does this game like compare to your childhood? And question two would be, what makes it better than Halo?
It doesn't stack up very well, and it isn't.
Good answers.
Well, all right, there you go. All
right, there you go. This is
as much as I want.
It's not. I mean, once you get used to it, it's not.
It is
bad.
better than Halo. That is true. Once you get used to it.
As much as I want this video to continue and play through this whole game twice, once on Black Ops mode,
yeah,
I really have to pee.
And yeah, we've got more content to record.
Yeah,
of course. Always working hard.
Jesus Christ, it's 10
Junkies.
o'clock.
I say I haven't been on a video in like 3 weeks.
And there's a really good way to end because I just ended the mission.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right, cool. Well, there you go. We'll check out whatever the next level is next time on part 2 of Black.